Yes, hi everyone, and welcome to another video lesson from Victory English. This time we will talk about asking for prices, asking about prices of everyday items. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the lesson and stay tuned. If you do enjoy the lesson, please let us know by pressing the like button or leaving a comment down below. Okay, so let's begin. In this lesson, we will learn some vocabulary for some common things in everyday life that we often pay money for, some easy ways to ask and answer about the prices, and of course, some tips to make you sound more like a native English speaker. Okay, so let's go to the next slide and look at why this is important. So this is a very useful skill, especially if you're traveling somewhere new. Maybe you are going on holiday or you are traveling for work. It's a very useful skill to have. It's also very easy and you can learn a lot of new vocabulary with this skill. And it's also very good to practice your grammar for singular and plural nouns. So let me just move our video out of the way here. Put it down here, okay. So you can see here, there are two easy ways to ask and answer about the prices of something. So we have two easy ways and two structures. So let's have a look at them. The first option is using is or are. Is or are, okay? Now, as I said, this is good for singular and plural noun practice. So we use is for singular, are for plural nouns, okay? So the sentence or question structure is going to be how much is or how much are. How much is for singular, how much are for plural. Okay, now don't worry too much yet because we will see some examples in the next slides. Okay, so this is our question one. How much is, how much are? Of course, we will add the noun later, okay? And the answer to this one is going to be something is, and then how much money does it cost? Okay, so article plus noun. The noun is how much, or the noun are how much, if it is plural, okay? So that's option one, how much is, how much are. Let's look at number two. This one is using do or does. How much do, how much does, okay? And we'll also use another verb in here as well. So you can see here we have an extra verb, which is cost. The cost, okay? So how much do something cost? How much do for singular? For plural, how much do, and for singular, how much does, okay? So we will look at some examples in the next slides. So how much do, how much does cost? And the answer is going to be article or article and noun, costs, and how much money, okay? So here are our two options. How much is, how much are. How much do, how much does cost. Okay. Now, just some very quick tips to sound even better. You can use it or they in place of the noun when possible. Okay, so for example, we have a pen here. So we can say, how much is the pen? Or we can say, how much is it? How much is it? Okay, we can use it or they in place of the noun to sound more natural more native and have a higher level of English. Okay, and the second tip is to use a contraction when you can. So of course we have two words, it is, and we'll put them together, it's. Okay, now let's go to the next slide here, which is our vocabulary slide. I'll just move the video up here. Vocabulary, okay. So here we have some vocabulary for everyday items that you may need to ask about the price for. Okay, so in this slide we have 4 different categories. The first one is the travel category. Travel. Okay, so if you're going somewhere or you want to go somewhere, you can ask about the prices of these items. Okay. So the first thing you may need to ask about is a taxi ride from somewhere to somewhere. For example, a taxi ride from the countryside to the city, or a taxi ride from the city to the village. Okay, a taxi ride. So you may need to ask about how much does it cost. The next thing you may need to ask about is a bus fare. Bus fare. So fare means the cost of a ticket. A bus fare or a bus ticket. Okay. The next thing here, this is an example of a plural example. Okay, so in this case we need to say are or do. Okay, so we have plane tickets. Plane tickets if you want to fly somewhere. And the last one in the travel category is a night in a hotel. So perhaps you need to find out how much does it cost to stay in the hotel, okay? So let's go to the next category, which is the entertainment category. Entertainment, okay? Have a quick look here. So again, we have a plural example, cinema tickets. Tickets to go to see a movie. Cinema tickets, okay? We have an entrance fee, which is the cost. A fee is the cost, how much, and entrance is to go inside somewhere. So this may be for the museum, for a show, or for something like that, okay? Something where you need to pay to go inside. A lot of tourist attractions, okay? And the last one, video game. Video game, I guess more popular nowadays with the younger people. Okay, so here we have 2 categories so far, travel, entertainment. Okay, and these are some things that we usually ask for the price. So next up we have the food and drinks. Food and drinks. If you are on vacation or holiday or traveling, and you need to ask about the price of food and drinks in a restaurant or something like that, a hotel. So you may need to ask about the price of a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. A meal, so this is the whole meal, maybe the 3-course meal or something, your dinner or your breakfast, and maybe a small snack such as a sandwich. Okay. So a few other things that you may need to ask for the price of is a haircut. Haircut. Maybe you need to go to the barber shop or the hair salon to get your hair cut. Okay, you need to know how much is it going to cost. Another example, an hour at an internet cafe. You need to go online or something. And a tank of petrol or a tank of gas. So in the UK, we would say petrol. And in America, USA, they usually say gas. So you may need to know how much is the local price for a tank of gas or a tank of petrol. Okay. So if you need to pause the video now and check the meaning for any of this vocabulary, you can go ahead. But we will go on now to the next slide, which is the sentence slide. and we'll have a look at some examples of asking the questions and receiving the answers too. Okay, so let's go to the next one, the sentence slide. So for asking about the price, you can use, as we saw already in the present slide, how much is was option number 1. So how much is a cup of coffee? This is very straightforward and easy. We just say how much is, and then we have the article here and the noun. Article, noun. How much is a cup of coffee? How much is a cup of tea? Very straightforward and nice and easy. So the next example, if we have a plural noun, you can see we have a P here for plural. Okay, so this noun, we do not use is, we have to use are to have the correct grammar and the correct form, which is very important to sound more natural and more native. Okay, so we say how much are, for example, plane tickets to Ireland. To Ireland, that's my country where I come from. So how much are plane tickets to Ireland? How much are plane tickets to Dubai? How much are plane tickets to Thailand? Okay, so remember, if it's a singular noun, how much is? A plural noun, how much are? Okay. Now the next example was how much does or how much do. So again, we can see here the example for a singular noun for one thing. How much does a video game cost? Okay, remember we have this extra part here, cost. We have to make sure we include this part, okay? How much does a video game cost for a singular noun? So again, how much does a cup of coffee cost? How much does a video game cost? And the next example is for plural nouns. How much do? How much do? Okay. So you can see here we have a plural noun, which are cinema tickets. So we will say, how much do cinema tickets cost? How much do cinema tickets cost? So before we go on, just have a very quick look. You can see the example number 1 or option number 1, how much is, how much are. Okay, and example number 2 or option number 2, how much does, how much do cost. Okay, so we just need to add in the noun, the article and the noun, and that's it, ready to go. Very easy, okay? Now, this is another example. As I said, you can sometimes use this, that, or it in place of the noun, okay? Again, this is going to take your English up another level, to the next level, okay? Because it shows that you can change and use different vocabulary in the right way. So for example, if you are holding something in the shop, such as this pen, you can say, how much is this? How much is this? You don't need to say, how much is a pen? Because you are holding it already. How much is this? Or how much is that? If you are pointing at something. Okay? And again, we have one more example using the other format, which is how much are these or those. This is for a plural noun. Okay, so how much is this? How much is that? How much are these? How much are those? Okay, so we can sometimes use different words in place of the nouns. So this is how we ask about the price using the correct form and the correct structure. And this is how we respond to the price, okay? So how much is a cup of coffee? The answer is going to be a cup of coffee is $2. Very straightforward. How much is? And we also say a cup of coffee is. We use the same format, the same structure. So the second question, how much are plane tickets to Ireland? So just be careful with this one. This is a plural noun. So we need to say plane tickets to Ireland are. Plane tickets to Ireland are 300 euro. 300 euro, a bit expensive, okay? So the next one, how much does a video game cost? And for example, it costs 50 pesos. 50 pesos, okay? So depending on where you are, of course, we have different money all over the world. Just notice here we have $2, 300 euro, 50 pesos. Okay, so sometimes we will say the type of money as well. We will say what currency it is, okay? Only sometimes, and you will see why in a moment. So here's another example here of a plural noun. And if you are maybe not too sure, you don't know how much exactly, okay, you can say they cost around $10. So maybe $10, $11, maybe $8 or $9. You're not too sure. Okay, around $10. And you can see in this example, we do not say dollars. Okay, the next one we say it's 46.50. 46.50. Okay, so you can see here in the brackets here, you can see we have a 46 and a 50. So the way that we say this properly is we say the number in the first box, we have to say this one first as a separate number, and then we say the next one as another number altogether. Okay, so you can see here in the first box we have 46, and in the second box we have 50. So the way we say this correctly is 46.50, and we don't need to say dollars, no dollars. Okay, so if it is if it's not a whole number such as 2, 3, 4, we will have to say two different numbers. Okay, two different numbers. So let's check the next example there. So they're 20 baht. 20 baht plural, okay? This one is, for example, how much are they? How much are those? They're 20 baht, okay? So here's a quick note. We always say the currency after the amount when using whole numbers such as 20, 30, 40, 50, we say dollars, okay? When the price is not a whole number, we don't need to say the currency. For example, here we have 35.70, 49.99. Okay. So there you can see some examples of asking and responding or answering. Okay. So how much is, how much are, how much does, how much do cost, and how much is this, how much is that, how much are these, how much are those. Okay, and here are some examples of the answers. We're using the same format as the question. Okay, and we use the whole figure, the whole number, plus the currency. Brilliant, okay. So let's move on to the summary now to finish our lesson, okay? Move on to the summary slide. Here we have the summary slide, and we can wrap up together, okay? So asking for prices is a very good skill. It's very useful when you're traveling or if you just need to ask your friend about the price of something. Okay, it's very straightforward, it's very easy. You just need to be careful about is, are, do, does, and then we can use it or they in place of the noun as well. Okay, so why not practice right now? You can go to your local supermarket or ask your friends or family or colleagues about the prices of some everyday things that we learned in the vocab slide. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And if so, please press the like button and leave a comment to let me know. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. So bye.